So what do you think about that X-Men trailer? The X-Men cartoon.
All right, I love it. I can't wait for it. And I told Jason and you, as soon as I heard Wolverine's voice, I threw up in my mouth a little.
Oh goodness!
I'm sorry, but it's just off of one line, right? So maybe he had a cold that day.
It's the same guy.
I know.
That did
I
it.
know.
It's been 30 years.
But you say that, but I sent Jason 2 videos. I should have sent it to both of y'all. It didn't look like he'd aged that much, and
I mean, he looks the same.
Yeah, he looks the same. So
yeah, he looks the same, but his voice, Wolverine's voice, is such a hard voice to do anyway. I mean, and this is the guy that made Wolverine's voice. Like, there was no voice before.
Okay.
Him.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, to duplicate himself after 30 years is probably challenging because he only did it, a few years, 30 years ago. So
that wasn't 30 years ago, that video I sent you.
Well, I'm saying those are now.
Was not 30 years ago.
You're saying the voice that he was redoing?
I sent you 2 videos.
Right. The other voice that he was doing was like a recent voice.
That wasn't 30 years apart.
I see what you're saying.
I don't know when it was,
he did it more
but it
recently?
wasn't 30 years apart.
Well, I mean, he does the voice. He does the voice, when people come up to him and, at Comic-Cons and say, hey, like, do the Wolverine voice.
Hey, do the voice. I did that with, who was that? Batman.
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy.
He liked doing the voice. He would just,
I mean,
he would just do it on his own.
Yeah. Most voice actors like the voices they do. That's why they do it. Especially if they're famous from it. But yeah. So,
the guy that played Donatello in the original Ninja Turtle cartoon, when I met him, I told him I was a voice actor, and I was like showing, and he was like, do some voices. He asked me to do a voice. I was like, no, I can show you a video of me doing a voice.
Well, I don't feel so bad now for asking Kevin Conroy to do the Batman voice.
Man, you shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't.
But it's probably hard to do a Wolverine voice without coughing and stuff like that.
So
doing that gravelly voice.
I sent you the 2 videos. Just watch both of them, and you tell me. I don't know. He looks. He does look a little older in the more recent video, but how much older? I don't know.
It's not the video from
that old.
It was still a cell phone video, so it wasn't like
I'm more disappointed in the way they drew. I'm more disappointed in the way they drew Rogue.
I wish I had a piece of wood to hold up. I mean, that's about as flat as you can get right there.
Oh my gosh. I was trying to explain to my daughter, because she was like, because she didn't know. She was like, what, guys found Rogue attractive? I said, you have no idea, because Rogue's character has changed over the years, and I was trying to explain to her, I said, Rogue was more like, there's a reason you couldn't touch her. It's like, because she was so hot. Like, that's the reason. Like, oh,
that's
this really
part of her character,
girl.
But you can't touch. That's part of her character,
right? Like, she's extremely hot, and you can't touch her. Like, oh,
and she's got that southern hot fat ass. That's just,
Oh goodness,
she's like the definition of blue balls.
Wow, wow.
And then they made her look like the other versions of Rogue, because the other versions of Rogue is not developed like that. So I was like, no.
I was kind of hoping that was fake, but it doesn't look like it.
No, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'll still watch the show and enjoy it.
Oh yeah,
I'm okay with the new voice of Wolverine. He might, it might be in that scene, but I'm okay with it.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe it was just that scene, but I don't know. Like I said, watch the 2 videos there. I wasn't tripping when I heard it weird.
I mean, because also, Hugh Jackman. So what was cool about this week was we see Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine and Cal Dunn as come back as Wolverine. Both Wolverines, both 2 iconic Wolverines, both came back this week to reveal that they're going to have new material this year. That's really awesome. But with Hugh Jackman, imagine if Hugh Jackman hasn't played Wolverine in 30 years, kind of thing. Or he hasn't played, he played Wolverine but first in 2000. And so imagine if he stopped playing Wolverine back in X3 and then didn't play Wolverine at all those years in between, and then came back for Deadpool and Wolverine. You've been like, everybody would have been like, oh, he's different. He's just playing it differently.
I don't know. That's a little bit different. Live action and animation. I mean,
Yeah.
He would look
get
different.
fat and come back and
Yeah, Boba
maybe
Fett.
try. You have to try hard for a voice, right? I don't know.
But I've heard
Hugh
other
Jackman's
voice
got
actors.
get back in buff shape. And stuff,
Well, yeah,
so,
of course, and I'm sure that's part of the reason why he has
And that's
stopped playing
his-
Wolverine for a little bit.
That's his normal voice for the most part, too. I mean,
For the most
he does a
part,
little
I mean,
bit of
he has
voice.
an accent. He has the Australian accent.
yeah, it's not Christian Bale though, so you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Batman voice.
Yeah.
Sorry, where's Rachel?
Oh my goodness.
Dude, get a
Wow.
cough drop. What is wrong with your voice?
Wow. Oh man, what are we talking about this time?
Well, unfortunately, we're talking about Madam Web and not the X-Men. Not a good property, but yeah, this other property. Anyway, let me introduce ourselves. I am Josh, aka Prop Josh, and I'm joined by my brother, Jason, aka Smiley.
Hey, I'm here.
And finally, after a while, we got Donald, aka Vinyl Whiskey. It's been a while, man.
Hello.
It's been since Christmas.
Well, yeah,
I guess
New
that's
Year's,
a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah,
But before
Year's.
that, what was it before that though? It's been
that was a
while.
longer hiatus, I think.
But yeah, like maybe Last of Us or something. Like when we talked about Last of Us, is the last
Yeah.
time you were here, other than the
Yeah, y'all went on that.
Oh, was it the last enough?
Tubi
Last of Us?
binge.
Wow. Yeah.
we still
we're
do
still doing
Tubies.
Tubi movies.
it's
Every
pretty much its
Tuesday.
whole. It's
So,
like
yeah.
a separate podcast when we do Tubi Tuesday. We basically have
Donald
two-
does not like Tubi movies.
Can't get into it. It's like watching a soap opera. I was never into soap opera, so I'm not gonna get into that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I have to stop watching them sometimes too, so I can watch some better made movies. No offense to, I mean, there's some good ones, but there's a lot of bad ones too, unfortunately. So I'm like, I want to watch some good ones for a while. So anyway, I want to go down that rabbit hole. Speaking of bad movies, we're talking about Madam Web.
Nice
That's what we're
segue.
talking about this time. That was perfect.
So before we talk about Madam Web, let's talk about what y'all thoughts about the Sony Spider-Man universe. All these movies that have been made without Spider-Man, even though these are characters that have that interact with Spider-Man. These are Spider-Man characters, but they're all getting their own movies and stuff. And it's like 4 of them at this point now, going on 5.
I don't mind Venom. I mean, Venom is pretty iconic character. Madam Web, though,
True.
Madam Web,
I
that
mean,
feels like reaching.
The character,
support character.
The character. I mean, the '90s cartoon of Spider-Man helped create a lot of extra Spider-Man characters for regular viewers. So, there's the hardcore comic book Spider-Man people that know everything about everything. But the '90s cartoon helped us get introduced to new characters. So, Venom, Morbius, they were on there. And there's other characters that are on there that I think that Sony just, because Spider-Man is such a high paying content for Sony, they will milk it like it's Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse. But yes,
Milk the
basically
mouse.
Spider-Man is the Spider-Man is the Milky Mouse, the Mickey
Come on,
Mouse of
spit it
the
out, Jason. Spit it
Sony
out.
universe. Yep. So
No pun intended. Spit it out.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So Venom, I understand getting
But
his own movie.
I only watched that one Venom. I didn't watch any other ones.
Oh, you didn't watch Let There Be Carnage?
Nope.
Yeah, Mobius, I think that one, another supporting character that really didn't need his own film.
I agree.
Yeah.
He was like,
I
I
never
didn't even
seen it.
heard of Morbius until the cartoon. Like that was the first time I ever heard of that character, and I mean, I knew he was a comic book character like after I saw him on the '90s cartoon, which was confusing for me because in the '90s cartoon he wasn't sucking blood; he was only getting people's plasma because they didn't want to do the whole blood sucking thing, which I can get now. But would that really confuse me once because I was like, does he do this in the comic? Now I realized, oh no, he actually tries to drink blood. Okay. Oh, he's a Spider-Man villain. Oh, he's an anti-hero. Oh, oh, he's gonna get his own movie. Oh, is he
Why?
popular enough to get his own movie?
Oh, it's Jared Leto. This is going to be a bomb.
Yeah. I didn't
Sorry,
watch
Jared
it.
Leto,
Never
if you're
had a
listening.
desire. Oh, yeah, if you're listening, I'm sorry, man. But no, I never had a desire to watch Morbius. I mean, it's like, Blade is not a Spider-Man, character. It's his own story. And so, but he's the vampire killing vampire. And so, maybe that's what they were trying to do with Morbius.
Maybe because Blade,
that wasn't Sony, right? I don't know.
No,
I don't think
so.
that was Sony. That may have been Fox. I'm not sure what Blade was with, but like, because Blade, that's. I'm glad you brought him up because I was gonna bring up Blade because my first time ever hearing of Blade was in the Spider-Man '90s cartoon as well.
So he introduced Spider-Man,
and then he got his own movie first. He got his movie before Spider-Man and the X-Men.
Yeah, he's one of the first superhero movies. So
right, and it was good, and it stood alone and all that stuff. He didn't depend on, that made sense with Blade way back in the day because Blade, really kicked off the whole superhero, especially with Marvel.
Yeah.
Blade really kicked it off, like for real.
Absolutely. But it is
fast forward to like now.
Yeah, they're trying to. I mean, they like I said, like they want to hold on to Spider-Man so hard because it makes so much money, and so they try to connect everything they can to Spider-Man. Because I mean, you think about the Marvel Universe, MCU, and whoever signed the contract to say with Sony says we own Spider-Man, that made it where they can do anything Spider-Man related. But it's not always a good idea.
I'm assuming there wasn't any Marvel Studios tag on this film.
Not at all. No, this is no Marvel anything. Marvel, MCU, whatever it is.
Sony just needs to stop.
Sony, if you're listening,
they just
take your millions of dollars and just keep it into Spider-Man. That's all we want. We want Spider-Man only. It's okay.
Now, surely there could be a contract set up. Okay, I own the movie rights, so I just want a percentage. Y'all take over the entire works, split the profits. Good to go.
I think there's a reason why they're doing all this. I think there's a reason in contracts why they're not doing Spider-Man. It's like they made some kind of deal with Disney, and it's like somehow they can't make a Spider-Man movie because after they made the deal with Disney, we haven't gotten a live action Spider-Man movie from them at all. If you notice that,
because
so it's like
the MCU, Tom Holland's,
the Tom Holland Spider-Man is like the offspring of Sony and Disney together, and it's like we have to be together for this
Holland's paycheck. Is it Disney at the end of the day?
I think it's both. I think it's both though, for real. I think it's like they both have their hands on.
He's got a check for both of them, Sony and Disney. So, but you're saying after that, they haven't done any Spider-Man by himself.
No live action Spider-Man by themselves, because that's why I wonder how they
Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse.
Right,
that's Sony.
Right,
Sony did that.
That's Sony. Yes,
Sony. We saw what you can do. We saw what you can do with Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse, which just makes you think. Oh, when I saw the trailer, I wasn't really like trying to see this movie, but when I saw the trailer and saw the different spider heroes fighting, I said, "Oh my goodness, is this the Across the Spider-Verse live action, because you got Madam Web who can
Could have
go
been.
across the Spider-Verse. Like
Yes.
she literally is the web. Like if you think about where
She is the
Madam Web,
reason. Right, she was the reason
We
in the
saw
cartoon
it
that we
in the
have this.
cartoon,
Yeah,
right.
the very first time we ever see the Spider-Verse is because of
it's
Madam Web.
Web. Exactly. So you would think Madam Web would be the one that brings multiverses together, even in the live action. Because like, imagine that. Like, oh my goodness, we have a live action way of bringing. It's not like they haven't done it with Venom showing across into the Spider-Verse. Like they showed that they can do that. So like, you would think this would be an opportunity for them to do that, but they didn't. And I think that we have a lot to. I feel like we have the writer's strike to blame for this, or not the
I don't
not the
know.
strike, but the people
I
that wrote
think you
this.
got the big wigs to thank for this.
That's what I mean. Like the big wigs didn't
putting their hands
listen
on
to
it
the
and
writers.
then ruining it.
They didn't listen
I
to the
don't know.
writers, and the writers
know
said,
about the
"This
writer's
is not gonna
strike."
produce," so we striking. So they left.
I'm not sure because of the writer's strike, there was another Sony Spider-Man movie that was supposed to came out that didn't come out. Kraven the Hunter.
Oh,
Kraven the Hunter got pushed back because of the writer's strike.
but I'm thinking that they probably changed some things because of the writer's strike. Because
Have
the
y'all
writers
seen-
left.
Oh, they totally changed some things in this movie. You can see some dub. Did you see the bad dubbing?
I mean, I watched it on bootleg, so I didn't pay attention.
So you didn't notice
It
it?
didn't make-
I didn't really notice it because I don't know. I was
There
little,
were just people in the audience walking past. Yeah, I can confess.
Have you seen the comment from what's the actress's name that played Madam Web?
Dakota
Yeah.
Johnson.
She's pushing the blame back on the studio, saying that this is not the way the script was written originally, that I signed on for, and it got changed as soon as she signed on for it.
I'm pretty sure it did. I can tell it did.
It definitely feels
you can't
like
blame that on the writers. You can't blame that
No,
on the writers.
yeah. I wasn't.
That's
when I mean
definitely
the writer's
studio all
strike,
the
I
way.
definitely don't want to
Studio.
blame the writers. Like, shout out to all the writers that take their time and write good stuff. Writers are good. I was thinking that this was edited by AI, and that's the reason why it's the way it is. So the writers said, "We ain't dealing with this crap. Y'all ain't paying us enough, so we leaving." And then they said, "We're gonna produce this movie anyway." And so I think that's what happened. So, oh man, and this is what we get. So
yeah. Well, my thoughts on the Sony Spider-Man movies, like Venom was okay. Out of all those movies, Venom is probably the best one. It was the first one. I can tolerate Venom. I think I saw Venom twice.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
tolerate it.
Yeah.
It's the only one that I saw more than once because I've only seen Morbius once. I don't know if I can make myself watch it again.
I tried twice and fell asleep both times.
You actually tried to watch Morbius. Okay.
I tried twice.
I never did. I never desired.
It was a one-time watch for me. Let There Be Carnage. Maybe one day I might give it another try with Let There Be Carnage.
Okay.
Because I like Carnage as a villain, and
he's the main character in that movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got a good
could
guy
have been better
too. Good actor.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Okay. He plays.
He looks
Carnage.
like Carnage. Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, Morbius definitely was the worst out of those three. We'll see what I say about Madam Web.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, do you think? So we're gonna spoil it if you hadn't watched it yet. You saved yourself some time. So yeah, good job. If you hadn't watched the movie,
Man, I'm
congratulations.
Right now, I'm not
don't spend
saying
any
what
money
my rating
on it.
is yet. I'm not saying what my rating is yet, but I kind of wish I can go back in time and stop myself.
Oh goodness!
At the theater,
stop yourself from watching it. So I watched it.
Oh, I wonder what his rating is.
Definitely watched it on bootleg. I recommend that. I approve the bootleg version of this. It's if you wanted to waste your time, don't spend any money on it.
Is this a Tubi movie?
It feels like it.
You think it should have been
It should have been. It went straight to Tubi. It should have went straight to Tubi.
Straight to Tubi. Yeah, that
like,
makes
for real.
sense.
I would probably liked it more if it went straight to Tubi. To be honest with you.
Okay. Let's say this. You remember that movie? What's the Spider-Man movie that came to YouTube?
Spider-Man Lotus.
Lotus. Would you think it was better than that?
It's better than Spider-Man Lotus.
Okay.
At least I was entertained. Spider-Man Lotus was because because I can deal with a bad movie more than a boring movie. That's why.
Yeah, this did the plot kept moving, and it didn't put me to sleep. So that's true. It just was. It was. There is things that just don't make sense, and it definitely was like, what? So yeah, we're gonna spoil it. Donald, I know you don't care, so I'm glad you're on here.
But before we get into it, though, speaking of Spider-Man Lotus, there's a video that I saw online yesterday. I'm about to send you guys the link. This guy, I think his name is Brown Table or something like that. I think it's called Brown Table. He does a lot of Spider-Man videos on YouTube. Like he mostly just do like talking about Spider-Man a lot in his videos, and he kept teasing about making his own fan-made animation of Spider-Man in like the Spectacular Spider-Man style. And so like he teased this for like a couple of years, and then he released a video on Valentine's Day, and it's like it's kind of like Spider-Man Lotus done the right way. And the great thing about it is he got the actual dude that's the voice of Spectacular Spider-Man to do the voice.
Nice.
And he's animating it in that style. So I was like, well, this feels like Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man. And it's like a little monologue of Peter Parker talking about him losing Gwen Stacy, which was like, this is a good
Spider-Man
conclusion.
Lotus, basically.
Right. Yeah. But it's like a good conclusion
but
to
a better version.
Spectacular. Yeah, exactly. To the Spectacular Spider-Man, because at the end of Spectacular Spider-Man, it's kind of because it got canceled before it could really get to where they wanted. They showed that Gwen took off her glasses and she got the long hair now and stuff, and Peter and Gwen finally revealed that they like each other, like because that was the build up through the whole show. So now we see what happened, like she died already because that's Gwen's fate. So I'm gonna have to send that to y'all because I was like, it was done really well, and I was like, oh, it was done in it's like a 3-minute video. It's done way better.
3 minutes. It's about how much time we need. So yeah. And this movie could have been 3 minutes. The
fact that you mentioned that Madam Web could have opened up dimensions and stuff, just like the cartoon, makes me even more angry at this movie.
Yeah.
Like they could have did that.
Yep. They could have. Because you think about it, like it's not like Sony don't know how to play with the multiverse. Across the Spider-Verse, you had different dimensions, live
they could have
cartoon.
Copy and pasted from Doctor Strange. There was a perfect example of going across universes, and there's your. I mean,
but this was like so. This movie was basically the origin of
Marvel Studios.
Madam Web, and so it kind of shows her becoming, who she is and will be. And so I think that's where, if you think about it, like, okay, it's about her becoming Madam Web. Like she's just, a 30-year-old EMT worker trying to survive in New York.
How long did they spend doing that intro? Just curious.
I mean, she
did it take her the whole movie to become Madam Web?
Well,
or did it
yes.
take
No, yes. Yes. The very spoiler alert, the very last scene is the first time you ever see her look like Madam Web. The very last scene in the movie. That is it.
I mean, man.
There's not really any costumes other than the villain. And so
when do you see that?
Well, you see the villain has basically a Venom looking Spider-Man costume throughout. Do you know, is this a character that is
who is the
around
villain?
Before?
I've never heard of this dude.
And I'm like, you're a Spider-Man fan, Josh, so I'm like, you don't know about him? Is he like a Madam Web villain?
Nah, I don't know about Madam Web. Like I don't know about her comics and stuff.
Whatever his name is. Yeah, so what is the villain's name?
Ezekiel Sims. Man, what a great villain.
Is Ezekiel? That's his name for real.
I don't know anything about any of these characters in the movie.
You know anything about him, Donald? You heard about him in the comics?
For a couple of characters.
See if I can try to find a picture of
like the comic version of Ezekiel Sims.
Yeah.
Like who is this guy?
I mean, I have this action figure right here that's a Spider-Man looking, but that's supposed to be Ben Reilly.
Well, that's not
when he turned evil or something like that.
Which looks dope. Okay. So, dope action figure. So he does have an evil-looking Spider-Man costume. Like he has this like So he looks like an evil Spider-Man. That's what he looks like, the villain, when he's crawling around and, doing things. So, but let's jump right into it. Right? Are we ready?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
looks
Yeah. I'm ready.
nothing
So
like the movie version. I'm sorry.
Let me know when you want to see, if you want to see a clip at any point. So,
well, because I want to. All right. So it starts off in the rainforest, and it's Madam Web's mother. She's in the rainforest. She's pregnant with.
I actually had to rewind
Cassandra
it to
Webb.
realize that she was pregnant because I didn't notice, honestly, the first time. And I was like, when did she get pregnant? So anyway.
Yeah, she was pregnant. She was on her belly and stuff. I saw it because I was in the theater watching it, and this guy Ezekiel, who's going to be the villain, he's with her or whatever, and it says it takes place, and it's back, and it says it's back in 2000. No, it's back in 1973.
70s. Yeah,
1973, which threw me off, and I was like, wait, because then I don't know what year the movie takes place. It says 1973.
The movie takes place
I'm talking about at first. Yeah, I know. I'm talking about at first. When I'm watching it from the beginning. I didn't know that. I was like, wait a minute, that's 50 years ago. So she looks good for 50 if she's supposed to be 50. If this is supposed to be her.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's not the case.
So the mother's just randomly in the forest looking for something.
Right, and then she's studying spiders. It's all, oh my gosh, they studying spiders. This, I don't know what to say about that. So, basically Ezekiel turns on them and he pulls out a gun on he shoots the people that's with her. And doesn't he shoot the mom, Madam Web's mom?
There's a point, yeah.
I think he does shoot her because she's down, and then these spider people.
He steals the spider. Because she's looking for a spider and he steals it from her when she finds it. And because he's all this nice guy at first.
Oh, wait, are we watching it?
It's on.
I thought this was an ad or something. I don't know.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, it does look like a terrible commercial.
Like an ad.
Yeah, but nope, this is the movie. It's a bootleg though, but don't look that different. So
they're not fighting the bootlegs and stuff. They're just like, just let it happen. We don't care. This is a bust.
Oh man, but yeah. So yep.
After he shoots her, she doesn't die because these spider people come out and save her and take her to this Lazarus pit.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Madam Web does a lot of crossovers and shit. Like she goes, she visits Batman and Ra's al Ghul all the time.
Yeah, Jason, go to the part where she's in the Lazarus pit so Donald can see what we're talking about.
Is Ra's in this movie?
Might as well be. I mean, at this point, I can't wait to tell you the Easter eggs they drop in this movie. I'm biting my tongue.
We're gonna talk about it.
My tongue so hard about the Easter eggs they drop.
So she got shot, and you were like, "Oh my goodness, is she gonna die?" But yeah, she goes into this pit of water, and she's pregnant, and she gets bit by a spider from the spider people of Peru.
On it. What else are they doing to her?
And so, yeah, honestly,
she's impregnated again by a spider.
Honestly, I thought that when I watched it, because I didn't realize that she was pregnant. And then when she had a baby, I said, "What in the world?" So I had to rewind it to make sure she was already pregnant. And I was like, I was like, this is where we're gonna go. They impregnated her while she's in this Lazarus pit. What? Who's the father? The spider? Is Madam Web's father a spider?
Oh my goodness!
But that didn't happen. She was already pregnant, and apparently she just was there in a month, or like however long she was supposed to be there, because she got more pregnant.
She got more pregnant.
Yeah, her stomach got bigger while she was in the Lazarus pit, and then
and then present day or 2003,
they show Blockbuster and things in the background.
So my thing was like, why are we in 2003? The movie wasn't advertised that this was in 2003.
You figured it
So
out.
I was like, why is this 20? Yeah, of course I figured it out. But I was like, why is this movie taking place 20 years ago? My whole thing was like, why is this movie taking place 20 years ago? That don't make any sense.
They let you know why. And
They let you know. Yes, they
Which
do.
is unnecessary.
This is why. Donald, I can't wait to tell
unnecessary.
Donald this. All right. So
Well, we can talk about
this
it
is
now.
why.
Let's talk about it now.
Yes,
why
we were
is it in
talking about.
2003?
So she's all right. Let's talk about this. All right. So she's an EMT person or whatever.
Yep.
She's a driving a ambulance.
EMT, yeah.
And she has a partner.
Yes.
Her partner. His name is Ben.
Guess what his name is?
Her
Ben
partner's
what?
name is Ben.
Ben.
We
what?
find out later his last name is Parker.
Completely unnecessary.
Yep. She goes. So
and then
so
later
his
you find
sister-in-law. His sister-in-law. is
Don't go there yet. Don't go there yet.
What do we find out later?
We find out that Ben is. He's like, oh, he met somebody, because Madam Webb's her name is Cassandra. So Cassandra was like, oh, Ben, you met somebody? He's like, yeah. She's like, what's her name? And he doesn't say it yet. He's like, well,
Mm-hmm. Hint, hint.
I'm like,
hint,
is
hint.
it fucking May?
Yes, it was May. But they never said her name.
No, they didn't say her name.
So
I'm like,
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so this is supposed to take place back when Ben Parker was a young man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he happens to be the partner to
Madam
Webb.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with the story of how she becomes Madam Web. He's just
Not
there.
at all. It has nothing.
It's
to
just
do
for eggs.
at all.
It's just for
Here's
eggs.
an
Not
egg.
the slightest bit. At any point does it matter that her partner is Ben Parker.
But it
'Cause
gets
has
worse.
Nothing to do with her, because obviously she has powers because of her mother
Of
being
Ben.
bit by a spider and the spider people in Peru.
But what you didn't know was Ben got bit by a spider too. It came out of Aunt May. Bit him right on the head.
Yep. Oh man.
Of his penis. I just want to clarify that.
Oh.
In case you were wondering what Donald meant.
This is the
Ben
part-
cheated
this is the part
on
we're
Aunt
talking
May with Madam Web. And
Yep.
that's how she became.
So this is the part when he mentions about who he's dating. He doesn't say.
What does it matter?
Like, oh, what's her name? Oh, it's serious.
Right. It's like, what the hell was that?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I didn't get that at all. I was like, what the fuck?
How's
Well,
a
yeah,
normal
yeah,
conversation?
Yeah.
Right. It's like it was almost like they were smiling at the audience. Y'all know who is he talking about. Y'all know. That's what it felt like. Like
It would have
winking
been
at the
funny
audience.
if he had like referred to her as Aunt May.
Yeah. Aunt May.
And then looked at the camera and went, wink.
Her name is Aunt May.
Her name is Aunt May. Wink. Like, wow. Just hands up. Just
Then Parker
spoon feed
breaks
us.
the fourth wall.
Oh man. Yep.
Might as well done this in this movie.
So yeah.
Stupid.
Yep. So that happens.
So they go to rescue more people as
Because they're
EMTs, and then
EMTs.
like
Yeah.
and there's a car that's about to go into the river,
Mm-hmm.
and Cassandra is in the car trying to get they pulling this person out. Like Ben and Cassandra are pulling this person out, and then Cassandra the car ends up closing and trapping her in the car, and the car falls into the river. And so when she is in the river, that's when her powers become unleashed somehow. This weird effects.
Yeah, because it's like the broken glass looks like a web, and while
Right.
she's underwater, it kind of submerges into a web, and she looks like she's submerged underwater, surrounded by webs.
I
And
mean, that's
right.
pretty
It's-
cool looking.
It
Yeah,
is
it's looking
actually
like-
not bad. Like, I mean, this is where they spent the money on as some of these
Right.
effects.
And it does look
Yeah.
like, when you see Madam Web on a cartoon, which she got all the webs all around her and stuff, that's what they're making it look like.
Yeah.
So I guess she's looking at different visions and stuff or something, and she goes through and there's blood in her hands, and
but she don't know
there's
what's
a
going
flying
on with her.
bird going toward
And
none
maybe,
of us knows what's going on. I
but
think this was
it's
scenes of the
previewing the
movie
whole
coming
movie.
up.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
basically
that's
just
what.
previewing the whole movie because it's showing all the things. Yep, even the
Oh
S.
yeah, I see the S. Okay,
So-
all right. It makes sense now when I rewatch this. I guess.
Well, they basically wanted you to rewatch it. They want you to see it again because all the little Easter eggs they put in the movie. So Ben saves her life.
Yeah, and she was
she
dead
has
for like 4
powers.
minutes or something.
Yep. And she doesn't realize that she doesn't realize how she has powers. And then him
Right, she doesn't realize yet. Yeah, she just
Yeah.
thought she probably died. It's like, did I die? And it's like, yeah. But then she keeps getting deja vu.
Yeah, like there's
Like
little
stuff keeps happening.
right
Like
things that happen.
30 seconds ahead of time and stuff like that. It's real confusing too. So
The way it's edited.
this is what I'm gonna say. So this happens throughout the movie. She gets visions throughout the movie, but you can't tell it's a vision or not. It's just like something will be happening, and they'll just be talking. It's like, oh, look at that balloon. Hey, look at that balloon over there. It's red. Oh, by the way, and then suddenly they rewind and like it doesn't even do a rewind effect. They just be talking. Oh, hey, that balloon is red.
Usually there's like a flash, something to let you know.
Yeah, like
Yes, to
like
let
the
you
spider
know.
sense. Like I was thinking, like that could be a good thing to let us know.
Sound or something.
But
an
I
indicator.
think that they were trying
Almost
to get
done
it.
like it's done almost like Final Destination.
Yeah, like a premonition.
Except
that
you don't get
know.
that flash with Final Destination when the person they zoom out of their eyes and stuff. They're like, oh,
But let me
you don't get that with here.
Let me play devil's advocate. I think that the editing was trying to put us into the mind of Madam Web because she was unaware what was happening. So she thought she was living it out. So we were like, we were trying to be.
They want you to be just as confused as her.
Yes,
that's not good editing though.
Okay. It's like we're watching a movie. We're not.
We know going to the movie. And she sees
already
the
know
future.
she's a power, right?
We need to know
the
the difference between the future
should know the difference.
and the present.
There could even be like a little color disorder, just color change.
Yes, or a flash to let us know and rewind it. Like I said, Final Destination did this. Even the movie, that crappy movie that Nicolas Cage did called Next, did this, where he saw 2 minutes into the future, and they let you know that was a vision that he saw.
But yeah, there was no distinction at all at any point that she was seeing
Cloudiness in the background,
nothing.
We only knew
nothing. It's just,
when it rewinded back to the beginning of whatever happened. Like, oh, that's
confusing.
That was a vision. So
they'll do something that's really loud.
Too. Yeah,
right. They'll do something that's really loud, that's obvious. Like somebody will be like, oh, out of nowhere, and then it's all normal. Then suddenly you go, oh no, again. It's like, oh, that means it's happening again. Yep. They'll do something stupid like that.
Yep. So maybe it was triggered by loud noises.
Maybe, I don't know. So we got to talk about this stupid ass scene.
All right, let's talk about it. This is the best scene in the whole movie.
It is.
It kind of is. It kind of is.
Pisses me off too. All right, so you might have to pause it, Jason.
Okay.
While we talk, describe what was happening.
Okay.
All right. So
classic cheesy close-ups.
Oh my gosh! All right. So
zoom into her face.
We meet the villain, or we already met the villain.
The second time we see him, as an older.
Now
20,
we're
30
in
years.
2003. Yeah, 30 years later, the villain.
He's
just got a little bit of gray.
Yeah, he looks the same.
He's got a little bit of gray in his hair, but he looks exactly the same.
Yes, most people from 73 looks the same from 2003. That happens.
I know. Well, our mom,
Yeah, that's true. She did look the same. So yes. 73. She was what in?
Well,
like
I think she was like
a freshman in high school, middle school. So yeah, she looked. He definitely looked like
anyway, what's that dude's name? You said Ezekiel.
Ezekiel.
So he meets this. He I don't know if he just
or something. And
he's at this opera and talking to this lady. I don't know if he just meets her or he's already knows her. But anyway, he romanticizes her or whatever. Then they're in bed together.
They do it,
and so he's in bed. He has a dream or a vision. And he's older. He's even older. He's even more gray in the dream, and he's attacked by 3 spider women.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 spider women are beating him up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason's right. This is the best part of the movie because you see these girls like they got their
Costumes
on, they got their powers, they're webbing at him and stuff, they're beating him up, and then it ends with him falling out the window. Like they kill him, like he's falling to his death.
And I
the
mean,
suits
they're
are
cool.
okay.
They're decent. You know, they're not bad.
Yeah, they're decent.
They're just. It's really cool to see these Spider Women in suits and they're fighting.
Now, where are these Spider Women from?
That is the question.
Yes, and then he wakes up. This movie.
Like,
all right, so this is the best part of the movie and the worst part of the movie at the exact same time. At the exact same time. This is why. So I'm gonna explain. He wakes up and he reveals that this is a vision he's been having every single night of his death.
Every night.
That's every night.
He's
telling the woman that he's in bed with, that he tells her this or whatever.
I always dream about my death every night.
Right. And it's like I have to find these girls who are going to kill me in the future.
And it might look
they're going to kill me.
If he ages the way he ages, that's probably another 30 years. You know? So
right.
He has to find them before they kill him.
Right. That's the thing.
And that's really the plot of the movie.
Yeah, that's the main plot. That's why he's going after these girls. So he kills his girlfriend for some reason. I forgot why.
Why does he kill this lady? He kills her.
He sounds crazy. Yeah, he ends up killing her. He paralyzes her or whatever.
Because he has his power in his hands to, and maybe he has powers in other places. And that's what kills
no, but I got the idea that he was sleeping with her for a while. Like this is like a girlfriend type thing.
Yeah.
But he does kill her. And then later, he has an assistant where he's talking about, that has the newest technology to look through everybody's cell phones and stuff and and try to find these girls or whatever.
Yeah, this is 2003, so they don't have the... So
right.
She has all the 2023 technology to find things.
Right. So the reason why this is the best and worst scene, because this is when I realized these girls are not going to have powers or be in those costumes for the entire movie. This is the Terminator. That's what this movie is. And they're John Connor. There are 3 John Connors. That's
Connors.
What it is. They're Jane Connors. Yeah. So basically he's going to be going after them and find them before, because his whole goal is to get them and kill them before they become the Spider Women that kill him.
Kills him.
Which definitely pissed me off. I'm like, so we get that cool scene and stuff. And they show that scene in the previews, like just so you could get people to watch it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, by the way, that's just a vision that's not going to happen.
At all. Not at all.
You never see them ever again?
We see them.
You see the girls? The girls are main characters,
we definitely
but you
see
do
them.
not see them in their costumes.
They're not in the costumes.
For the rest of the film.
At all.
Is there another flashback, though?
I don't think there is. You mean flash forward or whatever?
Flash forward. Yeah, that's right.
I don't think so. I think it's just the same one over and over again.
Yep.
I think at the very end, they kind of hinted at like these girls are going to be those Spider Women, and they don't even tell you
what their names will be and who they are.
Yeah, what the Spider Women names will be.
Yeah,
I was like waiting on that because I'm like, who are they supposed to be?
Yeah, because they were like, okay, is this people that we know from the Spider-Verse?
Right, exactly. I was like, the black girl kind of looked like one of the Spider Girls, don't she? And the blonde girl, she kind of looks like a Spider Woman character that I've seen before.
Yeah.
So like, are they going to explain that? And like, nope.
So, but they showed the bad guy killing his girlfriend just to show you how evil he is. That's all it was.
Just remember he's evil.
So just in case you're wondering if he was a bad guy or not, he is.
Right. So this scene, and we're still in Act 1. So this scene, Cassandra goes to this baby shower, and she meets up with Ben and Mike Epps. Mike Epps is in this movie, which I had no idea.
And I don't know why. Yeah, he just needed a job.
He's there. Apparently, he's their boss.
Yeah, he's the EMT boss.
Right. So they are there. So they're all at, listen to this, Ben's brother's, Ben's brother's not there. But so it's like Ben's sister-in-law's baby shower.
Yes.
Mary Parker.
Yes.
Mary Parker is pregnant
She's
with
pregnant
a baby.
With a baby.
I wonder who this baby is.
Who is the baby?
That could be the nephew of Ben.
Ben's nephew.
That will make Ben. Hey, Ben, you want to be an uncle? Ben, are you
But-
ready? Are you excited to be an uncle?
So we got
Ben?
this filler scene.
I wonder because they said
Stop
it. It's like,
Did
what's
they keep
the
saying that
baby's
over and
name?
over?
What's the baby's name? Nope, we're not going to tell you his name. You gotta guess it. You never know. You'll never
We
guess.
We won't know who this baby's name is. I wonder who this baby will be. We don't know.
So why?
I guess we have to keep guessing.
Why is Ben not hanging out with his brother, but hanging out with
His
his
brother-
sister-in-law
Spoiler alert: his brother is not in the movie
at all? There's not even a
There's
character
they just mentioned
to
him
even be him. There's nobody.
I was gonna
even-
because
Mm-mm.
So,
So,
like,
my
is he
thought-
the only male in the
my
movie?
theory-
I was like, where's the daddy at?
No, this
Like,
is my
what
theory.
are-
My theory is
there is no
Ben-
Richard Parker.
Ben is really the father.
That's what it felt like. Because later on, you find out that Ben is staying with Mary while Richard's not there. And I'm like, wait, what?
He's been there for 9
Like,
months,
what?
and Daddy ain't been there 9 months.
Richard hasn't been here in 2 years.
She's 9 months
But
pregnant.
Ben's
Richard
been here
hasn't.
for
Yeah. Yep, he's staying
Jeez.
there, taking care of his sister-in-law, So it finds out
I
that
thought that was
Uncle
very,
Ben,
very weird. I was like, why is
Uncle Ben
Ben
is
staying
really
with his sister-in-law?
his
And it's
father.
just them two.
that's not appropriate.
Given that swollen spider bit penis, boy.
Yeah. So yeah, just in case you're wondering, one of the things that Madam Web does is she sees a vision of the name of the baby, and she plays this game. I think she ends up seeing the vision, and it's kind of a weird
Okay.
thing, but she guesses the name, or does
I
she?
think- I forgot what she guesses. She guesses like Ben Jr.
Yeah,
And it's like,
Ben Jr.
not Ben, Richard Jr. My
Yes.
bad.
Yep, she thought it right. Ben Jr. Yeah. How did you know? Oops.
No, she does say Ben. She
Yeah.
does say Ben. And it's
After
like
the
Ben wishes
uncle,
it was
yeah.
named after him or something like
So
that.
this is look.
'Cause, like,
Ben is at
You know, for
the
those
baby
people
shower.
who don't
Yep,
know,
But the
I
daddy
guess
is nowhere near.
the baby is Peter
Nowhere to be
Parker.
found.
Oh, spoiler alert,
Mm.
the baby is Peter Parker. Oh, wink, wink. Anyway, Peter Parker's middle name is Benjamin, after his uncle Ben.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. So anyway,
I wonder why his middle name is Benjamin. We'll
mhm,
give him his father's name.
mhm. Yep, this is a Tubi movie.
he can
It
become
comes out. It
Scarlet
really is a
Spider.
Tubi
That's
movie. Because that's what happens in Tubi movies. It's like it really is Ben's the daddy. Oh man. Yep. So she has a premonition, and Mike Epps dies in a car accident. So she tries to stop it and sees it twice, but he ends up dying anyway.
Yeah, this was kind of a Final Destination type thing.
Yeah.
When this happens, because she's like trying to bring this guy back to life, this other guy, but she's looking at her boss, who is Mike Epps, and then she's visioning that she's trying to bring Mike Epps back to life, and there's blood in her hands, and then she sees that it's not really Mike Epps, it's this other guy, but she actually brings this other guy back to life and stuff, and it was kind of confusing for me.
Yeah.
I was like-
honestly didn't even realize that Mike Epps actually died for real at first.
Well, till later. I mean, when he gets hit, I realize he died when he gets into the ambulance and drives and then gets hit by
But
a
I
truck.
thought that was a premonition. Like I didn't realize, because
Right, that's why I said it was so confusing. 'Cause I was like, okay, so that's
See,
about to happen.
I'm
Like,
not
this
rewinding
is
it, but we're showing the same scene multiple times over and over again. You're like, what's real?
right.
You don't know.
They should have watched Final Destination before they did this movie.
Maybe that's why it's in
There's 5 of
2003.
those movies out.
It came out the same time as Final Destination.
Well, they could have watched it back then.
Mhm.
We had the 2 Final Destination movies back then in 2003.
Mhm. So yeah, but she tries to stop him from driving because she sees a vision of him dying. Or she don't know.
yeah, she does, but he drives anyway.
I gotta say,
She just keeps seeing his death
yep.
until finally it happens. Yeah.
And
like I
so,
said, I was so confused. They should have did like Final Destination and actually showed it being like a, and I knew that was going to happen. So she turned around and the ambulance drove off. I said, he's about to get hit by a truck. Like, I didn't have to be Madam Web to see that part.
yep. All right. So now we know she has powers, and nothing she
She's
can
still
do.
trying to figure out that she has powers.
Yep.
Because she really figures it out when she's in her apartment.
Oh yeah, that's the moment.
And a
she
bird.
Yeah, that's the moment she really
I'm
gets
still
it.
trying to understand why Mike Epps is in this movie.
So he can die.
He needed
Yep.
some money.
He
Hey, Mike Epps, you want to be in a Spider-Man movie? Do I?
Yeah.
Good. We're gonna kill you.
Okay.
It's not really a Spider-Man movie. It's Madam Web. What?
Yeah. His agent, he's like, "What did you get me into? I thought it was a Spider-Man movie."
Did he use a funny line?
But
Like
He wasn't
anything?
funny.
See,
Yeah,
the
he was
thing
not
is,
funny at
I
all.
didn't even realize. Honestly, I did not realize he was dead because I thought it was another Vision. Honestly, because they never actually showed his body,
Right.
and so I was like, "Is that a
I kind
Vision?"
of thought that too until it kept going. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the actual thing. That's why I said you can't tell the difference between the vision and the real thing
Yeah,
happening.
like you
It's
really
so
don't know.
confusing.
Like, and so like that's the transition. It's like, okay, well that's the end of that. So it's like, okay, did that happen? Or did she dream it? I guess it did. So apparently it did. So, all right. Well,
Let's get to the meat and bones of this movie.
Yep. The meat and bones.
So, to really speed this along, they find the girls. Oh yeah, they don't, and it's something else they don't explain. All right, so basically, Cassandra, she runs into each of these girls, the three girls,
at
separately.
different points. Yeah.
Different points. One girl lives in her building. Another girl, the black girl, was like skateboarding in front of the ambulance, and so she almost hit her, and then she flipped her off. Like the black girl flipped Cassandra off, and then the blonde girl, she was at the
yeah.
They definitely show it. The blonde girl with the glasses, she was at the hospital. She's like, it's like Cassandra helped save her stepmom, so she interacted with all these girls in one day, in the same day. And so when Cassandra finds out that, finds out she can actually change her visions, because she thinks at first that she's like, why is this happening to me? Like, she, just having the visions and can't do nothing about it. And then when she has a vision, this bird flies into the window and dies. And then she realizes it was a vision. And so she opens the window when she realized that was the vision and this is the real thing. So when she opens the window, she's like, let's see if this makes a difference. The bird flies inside into her apartment. And so she's all like, oh, so I can change the future. Or I can change for my visions. See, it was quicker when I said it than just seeing this.
Yep. I thought it was going to be quicker than that, but it's not. So
no, it's not. This movie is
fast forward.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the meat and bones.
Yep.
Because this movie is gonna keep playing around. Because I was getting a little frustrated. Like, how come she hasn't figured it out yet? So anywho, somehow she ends up on a train, a subway.
So, meanwhile, that's the thing we gotta know so you mentioned the evil guy is looking for the people that killed him in the future.
Yeah, the three girls, and they're all teenagers, right?
Yeah, I think there was a moment where they was like, okay, in order for them, we did technology to be able to backtrack based on your based on your description in your mind from your dream. We're able to backtrack it 30 years and find out what these kids look like today. They said that. That's exactly what they said. Because he was able to figure out who they were with their mask on and what they look like from his vision. And now they know exactly from his vision dreams. And now they know exactly what they look like 30 years in advance, 30 years or 20 years, however long they're teenagers. And so then she's looking, it's like, oh, look, guess what? They're all in the same place at the same time on the train, in the subway. You need to go get them because these are the people that killed you in your dream in the future. So go there and get them. What? They're right here? Right while I'm walking next to? I will go there in Union Station. It can't be a coincidence. The same time Madam Web happens to be going on the same train have we ever seen her on a train ever? No. But now she's going to be on the train this time because it's important for her to get on the train to do her thing so she can have a vision and save the day. So great writing.
It takes
here.
a long
great,
time.
Great writing.
Wonderful writing. Even the bad guy Ezekiel, he said, "Why are there? There's got to be a reason why they're all there together." And the movie says, "Nope."
There's no reason.
I thought this was going to be the moment they got their powers. I still had hope for this movie.
That would have made sense.
I still had hope for this movie because I said they're there for a reason,
like,
which means they're going to get their powers now.
It could have been like, Madam Web, she's still radioactive, so maybe something happened to her and she interacted with
they
them.
go into her and they all get, something happened. Yeah, she transfers some her power to them, and that's why they're all spider. That's why it's all spider thing.
This is the part where it gets from mediocre movie to bad. This is the part that it goes from mediocre.
Now
to
we're
bad.
Getting bad.
Yeah, this right here.
Why is that? Explain why.
Well, it's just so weird. So she has a premonition of all three girls getting individually murdered by this dude,
who's in his spider suit now for no reason. There's no explanation why
we don't know.
No idea. He just I got a spider suit on now.
What does he do at night? No idea. He's a vigilante that kills people, I guess. So they have
I guess.
He has a vision. She's sitting on a train. People are screaming, and she sees each person getting choked. And there's three girls that are on the same cart, and they're all next to each other. And she sees them one by one. And then there's a moment where the guy asks her something, and she was like, "Wait a minute, what did you just?" She figures it out, and then she stands up and she looks. And she sees the guy coming. And so she's like, uh-oh, you guys need to get off the train right now. I'm going to save your life. And so they all follow her off the train.
Well, I mean, it's kind of Final Destination because, some people, like, get off the train. It's going to, but she just grabbed those three girls. I mean, and she does steal the skateboard from the black girl.
That's the one that makes her get off. So they all go and they follow her. And she's like, no, give me my skateboard back. It's like, no, we got to make sure.
This woman's trying to kidnap us.
Yeah.
And so the police pay attention because, it was a white girl that yelled it out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Pay attention. So, yep, they all follow her.
That's why they had the white girl do it, because the other two girls are people of color. Mm-hmm. So they wouldn't listen to them.
Right.
Stop it.
Yeah. Yeah,
one's Mexican, the other one's black. Then the white one's the one that says she's trying to kidnap us, and the police was like, "What? How dare you? Not the white girl." That's literally what happens. I'm not making up.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's
literally what happens.
That's one of your crushes, Josh. Or you leave the.
Yes, I know. Yes, it is. She's yes. Sydney Sweeney. That's Sydney Sweeney. She's in Euphoria and
Josh seen all the movies she's been in.
I haven't seen all of her movies, but she's hot. She's a hottie.
Voyager, you like that one a lot.
You mean Voyeurs?
Voyeurs, not Voyager.
Yes, I love her in Voyeurs. We did a review of that movie.
Mm-hmm. So,
how many reviews did you do of that movie, Josh?
About 9 of them, but.
Oh man. Okay. But she's like this. They all have unique personalities. So she's like the geeky one that knows, that's really smart.
Yeah, because she has glasses on.
Yeah.
So that's how you know she's the geeky one,
right? And she's so she's
the black girl. She's all hardcore and stuff. She's black,
and she got skateboard. So she's a rebel.
And the Mexican one,
she's a rebel without a
is
cause.
there.
It's there.
She has family problems, She has her parents.
Or her father got deported because she's Mexican, and she's been living in the apartment by herself for 6 months.
That
because she's Mexican.
Is a thing that they wrote in the script.
Did they really?
Yes, they did.
Did they really?
Yes,
they felt the need to put that out there.
Yes, they absolutely did. They put that there.
Oh my gosh, this movie's so bad.
Yep. But they follow her because they see the guy chasing after her, and they just know. And now they see him in his spider suit crawling on the walls, and so now they really
he killed some police officers because the police go after them at first until they see him, and they're like,
When did he get his spider suit?
Exactly. That's what we were talking about. We don't know. He's
not even in the
conjured it.
spider
I guess
suit
it's
in his
part venom or
pre-vision.
something. Or
Yeah, so he just but this is the part where
there's no intro to Ezekiel. We just know at this point he's a
evil Spider
character.
Yeah,
he's a spider villain guy.
We knew he liked spiders.
I read the origin, and while we were doing this, so
from the comics, who is he from the comics?
Yeah, so he's not really a villain.
What is his role?
By the way, his affiliation, he's got an affiliation, team affiliation. This is the Spider Society.
Okay.
He's not really a villain.
So he's in the Spider Society.
He was introduced in 2001.
Okay.
An Amazing Spider-Man number 33.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't really talk about him as being a villain, just somebody who was really interested in Spider-Man, but not really in a bad way.
Did he have spider powers?
He does, but they don't really talk about how he got them.
Oh. Is he connected to Madam Web at all?
They don't mention Madam Web.
Yeah.
Of course
so
not.
Of all people, this is interesting. Why is he the villain?
Yeah, exactly.
Why is he the villain?
Maybe there is an issue somewhere out there that they interact with each other, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Wait, is it that picture you sent us?
That is Ezekiel.
In the red suit?
Both. The red suit and him.
As an old man.
As the character. That's him.
Because they're going to release... I just pre-ordered that action figure with that suit.
Oh, okay. So that's Ezekiel.
I pre-ordered that the other day.
That is not...
Well,
he's not a villain. Like, that's the thing. It's like, okay, so maybe he's... in this multiverse, he is...
Sure.
But even the thing is, like, what has he been doing for the last 30 years? He hasn't been a villain. He's just been living his life, going to the opera, enjoying spider research. And
that's it.
He's rich. People, he killed people to get to that point. That's why.
He killed...
Everybody knows that if you kill some people, you're a villain. And
I mean, that's
in the movie. And
so has he killed anybody in this movie?
He killed
at the beginning.
Yeah, he
her
killed.
Mom.
Very beginning, the mama.
He killed the mom
and a few people around the mom.
The girl he was dating, and then but yeah,
he just kills people.
Yeah,
he just kills people.
So he's a murderer, which is fine.
He is a murderer,
and so they want to stop him from being a murderer. But they're 3 teenage girls, in New York, and she has them. She randomly got a taxi, and now she's taking care of them, and she kidnapped them.
Yeah, and she listened on the radio and hears that, in this part, that because she thought that the police are after the spider guy, Ezekiel, but she finds out that they're after her for kidnapping 3 girls.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I'm not the bad guy. I was trying to save them.
And so one of the girls is like, yeah, I can call my uncle. He can fix that. No. Throw your phone out the window. Now she became a kidnapper.
My Uncle Jonah. She said my Uncle Jonah, which I was like, is that an Easter egg? Is that an Easter egg?
No.
But it wasn't.
Like,
I might as well, because if it was, I would have been surprised, because I was like, everybody knows everybody in this, in the Spider Universe.
Yep.
Well, maybe we should find that guy, Doc Ock. He can help us.
Yep.
My teacher, Doc Ock, can help us, or maybe Norman Osborn, because everybody knows each other.
Everybody know everybody. But yeah, so why did she throw the phone out the window? Because if her uncle could actually help her. But I mean, if her uncle is actually a lawyer that could help her get out of a situation, didn't make sense. You're not kidnapping her. You're protecting her. You don't want to be looked at as a kidnapper, but instead throw the phone. Who's tracking? Why is it a problem that the cops know that there's someone after her? Go to the police.
Right.
Why isn't that a solution? I thought too.
That's exactly what I thought when I was watching this movie.
This guy is trying to kill her. I'm protecting
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Children to a police officer station. You're not.
Yes,
you work for
that's what I was saying when I was watching this movie. I kept saying, go to the police.
But
go
what
to
did she do?
Just go to the police.
What did she do
She
instead?
takes them to the forest. She takes them to a forest
in New York, New Jersey, probably. I think they're in New Jersey now. So they just drive off to New Jersey. She literally have taken them across state lines and is a federal kidnapper at this point. For why? To save them from a vision that she thought she saw. And now she knows and she's confident. And she's also very annoyed by them. That's one thing to point out. She does not like these children at all. At any point.
No, she doesn't.
She
doesn't like help. She doesn't like people. She'll save people, but she don't really like people. They kind of established that about her character. Yeah.
Because her mother abandoned her when she was a kid.
Her mother died
And
when
she's
she was a
mad at her
baby.
mom.
So what she's
She's mad at her mom for dying.
Dare
She's
she?
mad at her mom. Literally, she is mad at her mom for dying while she was giving birth because she's like, why would she go out to Peru to look at spiders when I was a month, when she still had me a month ago? How selfish is she? And she, that was a thing.
Oh my gosh,
that was a thing.
This has got some wonderful writing.
So what does she do?
So
she decides to go back to Peru to find out what her mother, because she realizes that her mother wasn't. She realizes that her mother found the spider because she saw a picture of the guy that was chasing after her and her mother together. And so she's like, wait a minute, this is the same guy that was chasing after us because he was in a mask, but now he wasn't in a mask, but I saw his face. So he chased after us. So this is the same guy. And we were in Peru and my mom was in Peru. So I'm going to go to Peru and find the place that my mom was when I was
even though the police are going after me.
And the police are after me. The police are after me because I kidnapped three kids. And
I'm still going to fly to Peru and use my passport.
Yep.
After 9/11 has happened 2 years ago.
Yep.
Let me also something else, a spoiler alert about this movie. The reason why she's able to go to Peru, and this is my theory on the movie, is because the police just didn't care anymore. Because if you notice, nobody bothers her ever again in the movie about kidnapping these girls.
So at this point,
it's just like, oh, we just can't find these girls. Oh well.
So they're in the woods. They're in the woods to hide from the evil Ezekiel. So that's why they're in the woods.
So they shouldn't even mention the whole police thing of them chasing after her.
That was unnecessary at this point.
I think it was just so they wouldn't go to the police because that's the logical thing to do. But they wanted to make this a movie, and it's like, well, yeah, they still. I mean, they could have. I don't know, because they shared later on why the Mexican girl didn't want to go to the police because she didn't want to get deported.
Right.
So like maybe they could have used that reason because that whole thing of the police going after them is dropped after that scene. Like they don't say anything about it for the rest of the movie, for real. It's just them hiding from Ezekiel. So anyway, Cassandra goes to Peru. Oh yeah, she's trying to see if she has spider powers.
But before she goes to Peru, right? Doesn't she? Does she go to Peru before she saves the girls? Because doesn't she drop the kids off?
Oh right. She don't go to Peru while they're in the forest. My bad. That's so stupid. I forgot about that. Oh yeah, we get this movie confused. All right, so what happens is she goes home. She goes home and looks at her mom's journal.
It's still stupid for her to leave those kids
for 3 hours. She's like, I'll be back in 3 hours.
Why did she not take them with her?
Because she figures out that they're going to find them because of all the cell phones and traffic lights and all that stuff.
Which is...
I really hate this movie.
You should absolutely hate it. You should absolutely hate it.
So the girls...
I'll tell y'all after this.
Okay. So the girls, they get bored and they go to a local diner. And it's like, we're hungry. We got to eat. We got to get out of here.
I don't know why they don't have any money. When they were traveling by themselves, one of them was on their own. Someone should have money unless the kidnappers
Then how do they eat this food
wallet
if they didn't have no money?
Well, they said that they were going to flirt with the guys to make them pay for it. They said that.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. I thought they were just flirty girls. Like, ooh, boys. That's what I thought, because that's what they acted like. Ooh, boys, let's flirt. And that's because they're horny teenage girls apparently now.
Oh goodness.
And so, I mean, because it's crazy enough, they end up dancing on the top of the table and stuff in front of the boys and stuff.
Yep.
And Cassandra sees the vision of that, but then she also sees Ezekiel showing up and killing the girls.
Yep.
At the diner. So. Remember, none of these people got spider powers yet, except for Ezekiel. Cassandra doesn't. The three girls don't. So Cassandra's like, "How am I going to stop?
Yeah, she's
like,
"I'm
going to stop Ezekiel." Oh, I know. I'll drive into the diner and hit him with the car, and that's what she does. She does that, and they get away and they drive away or whatever. The police are still not after her, even though she drove into the diner.
Drove into a diner. So yeah,
and apparently nobody can see Ezekiel when this happens.
Yeah.
So and that's when she takes, and this is when she takes the girls to Ben's place, because guess where Ben is staying? He's staying with his sister-in-law who is pregnant, where his brother is not there at all.
That's so weird.
You still with us, Donald?
I'm sure. I'm trying, but as y'all are talking, I'm like, this is stupid. I just, and then I'm actually looking up the origins of Ezekiel, who, by the way, again, is not evil in the
Okay.
comics.
Okay.
Cannot find anything
You
where
can't
he is
find
evil.
nothing where he's evil. Okay.
And right now, maybe it's still, again, maybe it's hidden, but all I can see is he got his powers from totems,
Okay.
from some kind of spider totems or
Yeah.
whatever. And then when Peter gets his powers, people start going after Peter, of course. He steps in to warn Peter. He's actually tries to help Peter Parker.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then
Okay.
teaches him about totems and all this other mess. Whatever.
Oh.
Nothing evil about him so far in what I've read.
So, it's, some certain movies like to do
maybe-
that because he's such a obscure character. They're probably like, well, we'll
They're
just make him to a
rewriting
villain.
him. Yeah, they just rewrote him.
Didn't you say it was dubbed? His voice was dubbed?
Yeah. So maybe was he a hero the whole time? Maybe that's what it was. They
Maybe he
changed
really
it.
was a hero. He's trying to save them from evil Madam Web.
He did use his powers once he got his powers to obtain a lot of money.
Okay,
So that's about the most evil thing apparently.
I
that
mean,
he
Peter
did.
Parker did the same thing at 1st.
Mm-hmm.
He appeared on TV and stuff and was wrestling and stuff.
Yeah.
And he still takes photos of himself.
Right. So
Yeah, and makes money off of that.
evil
That's
to
true.
survive.
Yeah, that's
using
true.
your powers. So yeah, the Madam Web gets 3 girls to stay with Ben and Ben's wife. I'm sorry, sister-in-law, and
Ben's
the
baby
embryo of Spider-Man. You know, Spider-Man's not born yet, so even though there's all these spider talk around everybody, all these spider people, and Spider-Man's not even born yet.
Spider talk going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so then she goes to Peru.
Yeah.
To find and she meets the spider people
Got a
or
drink
whatever.
Because I think there's a moment where she is like she has a premonition vision of talking to
To Ezekiel, yeah. Her and Ezekiel have a full-on conversation through vision.
Conversation through vision. She dreamed it.
Like basically, right? She dreamed it. He's like, "I'm going to find those girls," and she's like, "No, you're not. I'm going to protect them no matter what." Well, I will find you and stuff. Yeah, it was definitely Star Wars. It was definitely it was definitely Kylo Ren and Rey talking to each other.
Yep.
That's right.
So
That's
I think that's what
right.
motivated her to. I think that's what motivated her to go to Peru. She was like, I got to find a solution to like protect these girls because now she's
Madam Web is the daughter of Palpatine. It all makes sense now.
Yep. So, there's a funny part in this movie where she teaches the girls how to do CPR, and you know but at this
Is
point
that what she's doing? I didn't...
Yeah. Yes, that's what
I
she's
just
doing.
look up and I'm, oh wait, yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Gee, I wonder why she's showing them to do CPR.
What's interesting is that this is a very important scene because there was a point in the scene where one of the girls, the Rebel Without a Cause, is like, Madam Web, you are a great teacher.
Does she call her Madam Web?
No, she doesn't. I'm just no one ever calls her Madam Web. No one ever calls her Madam Web. Ever.
This movie is so flat and predictable. Even that when she's showing them to do the whole scene is a whole 5-minute scene of showing them to do CPR.
Each of them,
I'm like, let me guess. They're going to save her life later in the movie to do CPR. Is that what you're showing me? That way, when it happens at the end, it's like, what? She showed them that. Oh,
and she's a good teacher. This was the turning point, though. This is where they became family.
Because she couldn't take them back. Yeah, she mentioned that she can't take them all home because this is what it was. So we already mentioned the Mexican. So
they all have trouble.
They all can't go back home. Yeah, because we talked about the Mexican girl. She can't go home because she lives by herself.
She's
and her
an illegal.
Right, she's an illegal. The white girl with the glasses, she her dad remarried and it's just like he got his own family, so she's ignored.
He don't want to be. She was going to run away, so she's like,
she was going to run away.
Living in a closet. What was the story with the black girl's family is off and living on a mission trip or something like that, and just leaving her by herself. I don't know, like
Something like that, yeah.
She just like stays with the
So they
housekeeper.
all are
she got
abandoned.
abandoned.
Yeah, so
Even
she's
though they
like,
all have parents, and probably all have parents who care about them, but
And
from their point of view, they're all
they're
abandoned.
Who
teenagers.
wrote
Yeah,
this movie?
they're teenage girls.
Who?
I mean,
Who
John,
was
you
the
got a teenage girl.
exec?
The teenage girls
Huh?
think that their parents don't really love them. You know, you had a
Of course, they
teenager.
think that. I have a teenage girl
So,
that thinks that
yeah.
sometimes, and I got to remind her.
So there you go. So that's accurate.
Well, I would know she was missing. I'd be all looking for her and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
Where's my
Right.
daughter?
So, but we forgot that she steals vehicles. So that's one thing she does.
steals like 3 vehicles in this movie.
Like she steals a whole beat up taxi that no one's looking for.
Oh,
That's what I said. Like, it must be great.
She goes and flies.
It must be great being a white woman in these movies.
Isn't there GPS on those taxis? I mean, even in
I don't know,
2003.
If it was about black ass, if it was about a black
she had a
dude, Mr.
private
Webb,
jet. Yeah.
Mr. Webb,
Mr.
Dude. Hey,
Mr. Webb.
Mr. Webb.
Wow.
at least he wouldn't be able to go anywhere. You kidnapped 3 girls, one of them white. Oh,
Mr. Webb.
they're gonna shoot out the middle of the movie.
Mr. Webb actually sounds pretty cool. I'd like to hang out with Mr.
If
Webb.
it was like if it was Mike Epps' character instead,
Oh, my
if it was
Well, that's what happened before. Like the
that's
premonition
what
was.
that's
why
what
he
he's
died.
the original Master Webb.
That's why he
He got
died.
killed to be-
He tried to save
Imagine.
the girls at first when he got killed by the cops.
Oh, you better take them back.
So, but yeah, so she goes to Peru and finds the exact spot and learns all about her mom and realizes that her mom really did love her. And
Because her mom put a GPS tracker in her journal,
in the map.
apparently.
Yeah, so
that
she
you
knows
could find
exactly.
exact spot
She was
in the
30,
rainforest.
30 years. It looks at the different trees that are exactly the same 30 years before. If the tree that's here at this height
Oh boy.
30 years ago, you look at that mark, and that's where you'll find. You look and find the web that I left there 30
Makes
years
no
ago,
sense.
and you'll see the specific place, and that tree is the tree that
The
I
tree
gave
of
birth to
spiders. Yeah.
And then the Spire Society guy pops up or whatever. Oh, we've been waiting for you.
There's
That's a cliche thing to say.
They say that. They say that for real. They
I think
absolutely
it
say
does.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
They're like, so yeah, because she lines up the pictures. To
Oh
see
yeah,
the
it's a
tree.
picture. Yeah, that's
It
it. That
connects the
helps.
tree that looks
This
exactly
30-year-old
the same.
picture.
It looks exactly the same. And then the
Surely none of the trees have fallen since
And
then.
they waited. They jumped down in the forest waiting on her.
That looks pretty cool.
I mean, honestly, it was
Like the
kind of
costumes and
the
the
costumes
art
aren't
and
bad.
just the
yeah.
those look good. They
It's
really
not
do,
bad.
but
Yeah, that's where the trailer. I think that's where all the money went.
hey,
because-
sit down up front. No, I'm sorry. By the way, we're watching a bootleg. Just to remind you people that are listening.
Oh goodness. Yep. But yeah, so she goes to the pool that she was
Lazarus pit. Yeah,
Lazarus
that she
pit,
was conceived.
where she
I mean, born.
conceived. Where is her
Does
father?
spiders sting?
Do we ever know? Do we actually know who her father
About her
is? At
father.
any point?
No,
There's
no,
never
we
a
don't.
word
We don't.
about her father, which makes me think maybe
It was a virgin birth.
Ezekiel is really her
That's
father.
what I thought. That would have been a good reveal.
No.
I mean,
That didn't
might as
happen.
well at this
That
point.
didn't happen. That
Ezekiel was
wasn't revealed.
hugged up on her mama, so
I
I was
mean,
like,
and they
maybe
was
it is
around.
her
They
dad.
were traveling in Peru for 9
It was
months.
the 70s.
You know,
It worked.
she was
Wow.
in Peru. So,
She wasn't pregnant when she left.
yep. So yeah, so. But yeah. But yeah, she embraces her power. She knows who she is, and the guy that's the master, web person was like, "Yeah, you just got to embrace it and drown, and then once you realize who you are, you'll be able to control everything, and you can travel forth and back in time." And so she saw her mom and hugged her and loved her and said, "Thank you for loving me, and I'm sorry that I didn't believe in you and thought you were evil, but you really love me." And the mom was like, "Yeah, I knew you were going to be survive. I knew you were going to live." I can see you now. Yeah, you did everything you can for me. I trust you. I love you. Now go save those little girls because you can be a really good mother, just like I was a good mother to you.
Yep, that's exactly what happens.
It's funny because I'm not exaggerating.
Oh man,
that happens. All that happens. So
I cannot
So
wait
that's-
to read the biography to y'all of Cassandra Webb.
Okay. Yeah.
Can't wait.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we'll definitely hear that. So, all right, now we're in the final
So
act.
now we're entering we're entering Act 3 now.
Oh God, I'm getting more and more frustrated. I'm continuing to read and listen to y'all, and it's just like,
oh man. This is the
So,
best-
of course,
what starts this final act, Josh? What starts the final act?
Mary Parker goes into labor. We have to bring Spider-Man into this movie some way, even if he's coming through a different way.
Where's the father? Where's the father at?
He is not a character in this movie.
His whole
Richard
son
Parker is not a character in this movie
Richard
at all. He's
Parker
only mentioned
is a
he's
deadbeat dad.
apparently. I'm like, why isn't he there?
But
Why we get Ben
one
instead?
thing I thought about was that
Did they even mention him? Hey, should we call the daddy?
well, so they could
You know
have
what? Now think about it, Jason. Now think about it. What if Adam Scott was playing Richard Parker and they rewrote him to be called Ben?
Oh,
That makes a lot more sense.
so he could have been.
That would.
He should have been Richard Parker, and they didn't.
Yeah, why not?
That could have been. That
would make
have
more
made
sense.
way more sense. That would have made.
But they want to put
more
but
sense.
Ben Parker's more known
But
because
that
Uncle
would have
Ben.
made more sense.
It wouldn't have been as cheesy. It would have been more straightforward and simple,
I'm like,
and it
wait
would
a
have made
minute.
sense. Yeah,
That would
It wouldn't have been that
made
bad.
more sense if it was that.
because he was there the entire
He was
time
there.
during his
Right.
pregnancy.
Right.
He
So it makes
was
more sense if that was
there.
the dad. If that was,
You don't
if he was
see his
Richard
wife.
Parker
You
instead
don't
of
see her husband.
right.
Wow.
Why would they do that?
when the
Yeah,
person-
it's
you're
because
saying
they really wanted
when
Ben
they-
Parker
when
in the
they
movie.
originally wrote the script, you're saying that could have been just Richard Parker.
Right.
At
Because think
in the
about it.
script.
If it was
Wait,
Richard, think about the movie.
Yep.
If he was Richard instead of Ben, the movie makes more sense.
the only
now.
line that says "I met somebody," they just took that out. They just added that in there.
Oh,
Right.
They added mate.
God.
But it would have made so much more sense. Hey, you come to
And you
my
could have
wife.
just said,
Come to my wife's baby shower. She's connected.
Right.
Yeah, I'm having a son.
Why
Oh,
wasn't this Richard
congratulations.
Parker?
It
This
makes
could have
so
been Peter's
much
parents.
and you could have, if you wanted to put Ben in there, you could have been like, "Oh, here's a
Here's
gift
my
from
brother.
Ben. Let's see what he got."
Yeah,
Right. But they wanted to hit on the nose that this is Peter Parker.
Do you
gonna be born.
remember what the spider people
God.
said to Madam Web about the responsibility?
Stupid
Oh
movie.
man!
No.
Oh, you should have played that part out loud. They tried to hit. What was the line? Because
With
people
great-
were quoting this line.
With great responsibility
Responsibility.
comes power. She was like, I don't know how to stop the bad guy. I don't have any powers. I can't fight spiders. And he says, because you have great responsibility, there will come great power.
This is the greatest Spider-Man movie ever made.
Oh man,
I'm gonna go
man.
fix a shot.
I don't need alcohol to finish this review. He definitely does. But I was thinking that if Ben Parker was an EMT and the ambulance couldn't make it, he could have delivered the baby.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, like he could have, like the EMTs do that, And so I feel
Yeah.
like he could have actually delivered his son.
Nephew.
Oh
His
yeah,
nephew.
His nephew. That's right, his nephew.
His
yeah.
nephew, who we don't know the name of. They never say the name
Ever?
of the nephew.
They say it ever.
No, they don't.
Oh.
No, they don't. They do this on purpose so the audience can go, "That must be Peter."
Yeah, because they do
We're
when
stupid.
she's guessing the name, they kind of skip it, like they go back, so
right.
they don't
say
actually
it exactly.
say what his name is.
Right.
at all.
Right. By association, you're supposed to
Because
figure
like
out
this
that
is
that's Peter.
Ben. But did they ever say that his last name is Parker?
Yeah, they say Parker like crazy through this movie.
That's true. That's
They
true.
call him Ben Parker, and it's like
Yeah.
that's my sister-in-law, Mary Parker.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Married to my brother, Richard Parker.
Yeah, that's those are things that happen. Yeah, that's true.
So unless Peter has an older brother we don't know about,
Mm-hmm.
Bob Parker.
Bob Parker.
Bob Parker.
Have your pet spayed or neutered. Oh man.
So they go to the hospital.
That this movie was probably the $150 million budget came from Pepsi.
Oh yeah, they do a lot of Pepsi. It's a lot of Pepsi references.
Pepsi,
a lot
sponsored by Pepsi. This is a giant Pepsi commercial. That's what it is.
Yes,
is it really?
I think so.
Yes, I'm pretty sure I remember seeing them drinking a lot of Pepsi. Because at the baby shower, I remember them holding a lot of Pepsi.
And there's a fight under the Pepsi sign. So
yes, I was about to get to that because this is what happens. This is what happens. We're at the climax.
Yep.
So I was about to say Ben and Mary make it to the hospital. Mary has the baby, and but they separate from the girls because Ezekiel finds out that they find the girls, because even though the girls have been hiding with Ben and Mary for the past week, when they finally go out to take Mary to the hospital, the cameras, one of the traffic light cameras, catch one of the girls' faces.
Yep.
And then Ezekiel's sidekick was like, "Hey, I found them. Yep. So Ezekiel goes out into his spider outfit and he goes chasing after them. But they separate from, Cassandra steals a ambulance, while some other EMTs were saving some lives.
I was thinking, I thought that was the ambulance that was coming to deliver the baby.
No, because Ben drove them to the hospital. So
yeah, but they called the cops.
They got away from Ben.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got away from Ben because she was like, "Don't worry, the spider dude won't go after you, Ben. He's going to go after me and the girls." So Ben and Mary are safe with the baby, whoever this baby's name might be.
Mm-hmm. We don't know.
We don't know because the movie never says it, so we don't know. And so Cassandra drives the girls away while Ezekiel's hopping on different that part. So he hops on different cars, and then they get ready to for Ezekiel to jump on the ambulance they're driving. It's like, ready? You gotta be ready when he does it. And they had the little what you call it, electric things?
Yeah, defibrillator.
Yeah, and they put it at the top of the ceiling right when he jumps on, so he bounces off.
Yep, he gets
at the moment he lands, and he shocks him, and he falls off. I thought that scene was stupid.
That was Yep.
So now Cassandra can control her visions.
Yeah, she knows,
because she couldn't control them before.
Yeah, so after
and they actually look like visions now. Yep. They don't. Yeah, so we actually see
the Peru trip.
Man,
makes sense now. She's now full-fledged Madam Web, and so she has her, and she figure out exactly what it's going to take to get the kids to safety. So calls in a helicopter. And she's going to take them to the top of the roof.
Oh, that's right.
And get them to go to the helicopter.
I forgot about the helicopter.
So she calls them in. Now she has a bunch of flares or firecrackers or something. And I think they're flares from the EMT. And so we're going to take the flares. And we're going to go inside this abandoned warehouse. And we're going to blow it up so that we can stop the bad guy. And so once the bad guy gets blown up, then we'll get on a helicopter and we'll be safe. You guys ready?
Right.
Yes. Let's go. And so they go into the warehouse and they do all those things.
The end.
Yep, that's pretty much it. But there's almost done. So we're almost done. You're disappointed? You wanted more of this movie? You wanted more of this movie? You're mad that the movie's over? I'm sorry, it's not quite done.
Walked out. I would have walked out. Was there anything showing like when
something
you
else? Yeah, something else
crap?
Watching.
Yeah,
I watched this morning on the leg.
Gosh, that's the only way to watch it. You cannot watch. Do not spend any money on this.
No, please don't. This is a PSA. Please
don't this crap.
Please don't spend money on this movie. No, don't support this movie. That's why I regret doing it myself. So they fight under the Pepsi Cola sign,
And
and it's a big battle.
Shameless marketing.
The flares are bombs. So
I
were
guess
there dynamite in the? Why did the EMT
The
have
flares?
a bag of dynamite inside the? Like, why would an ambulance have so much dynamite in their bag? Those are flares. Do
Those are-
flares
oh,
explode? They're firecrackers.
I guess they do in the
Firecrackers
movies.
blow up. Flares can
I
blow
didn't even know
up concrete.
paramedics carried flares like that.
Well,
Like
that would make
right,
sense.
Flare gun
They were like they were
or
flare.
ground flares?
They were ground flares that are now bombs. That
They're just blowing.
They're blowing up the entire
random
warehouse.
stuff. Where are they at?
They're on
They're
top
just in a
of
warehouse.
building
Yeah, on
that's
top of a
Pepsi Cola sign.
building. Yeah,
What
down-
why are
and it's getting
things?
exploded. I don't know. It's like Final Destination type of thing. They're still
So-
trying to do Final
But yeah,
Destination
so she sees all the things and she
and
figures
Terminator.
He figures
Oh,
out.
she's having a vision right now.
Yep, she had one about the S. Something's going to happen to the S. So
The S and Pepsi.
Yep.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody pay attention to the Pepsi sign.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Got it.
Mhm. Pepsi paid a lot of money for that,
Only Pepsi can save us now.
which makes sense. We're gonna find
Oh,
out.
hey, look, it's Pepsi Man.
Yep, Pepsi
Pepsi
Man
Man's here to
today.
save us. Oh, damn.
What in the world?
Yep. So
Some the helicopter gets shot down, which
by the
cracked me
firecrackers,
up.
By
I
a
saw
random flare.
a flare.
Yeah, I
A
was
flare
like,
blew up.
what?
Uh,
I was like, wait,
What kind of warehouse is
maybe
this?
it's a
I was
fire.
like, what is this
Maybe
helicopter? I was
maybe
like,
the
what's going
warehouse
on?
is actually a secret place where
Fireworks?
the terrorists were planning their plot, and that's where all the bombs were from the terrorists that was there in New York.
And remember, these girls do not have powers. They still don't got their powers.
They still don't have their powers.
and
at
we
this
only
moment
saw
in
one
time.
clip of them in
But-
the future.
But they are women. No, I'm
Teenagers,
I'm
teenage
not- women,
girls,
teenagers. Yeah, who are
inexperienced teenage girls
who are
and-
just
fighting
badass.
this, right?
Well-
fighting this grown
No
man
experience
with
in
with
any kind of
with
martial
superpowers.
arts.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Who has been killing them in Cassandra's visions
Every
the whole
time.
movie?
Well, with their powers, granted.
No, without powers.
He
When
was killing them.
Oh, yeah,
No,
he was
he's being
killing
killed
them.
in his visions, though. He's
Yeah.
being killed in his visions.
Oh,
by
he
these
yeah
three
yeah
women
he
who
would
are-
get killed.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
he
shotgun.
was.
But he
But when
was
he
killing
kills
them.
them-
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
So
the moment that she embraces her superpowers.
that's her Dragon Ball Z moment.
Ugh.
So one of the things that the Peru dude
Out-of-body
said was that
experience.
she can be at multiple places at once.
This is a
Oh,
representation
yeah.
of everybody watching the film. Everybody was having an out of body experience while watching this bullshit. I'm sorry.
What's it called again? What's it called when you get out of your body? It's like I forgot what's it called. It's a superpower.
But yeah, so she does
No.
that, and she saves all because he's like you can't save all of them at once. That's what she
Turns out she
say.
can
And she
because
did.
she uses her power to project herself out of her body.
Yep.
3 different times
At the same time,
to save all 3 of the girls
And
at
she
the
saved
exact
them
same
all.
time.
and now she's gonna.
She was trained by Doctor Strange.
in Peru.
Yes,
He was in
apparently.
Peru at the
Yeah,
same
Doctor
time.
Strange was there in Peru as well.
hmm So, yep. So
She's
she
just
knows
waiting on
that the
S
S.
from the
Yep,
Pepsi
we're just
sign.
waiting on the S
Yep,
to fall.
she's waiting on that S
So
to
she's like,
fall.
if I can
Yep,
get
they're
you to
trying to lure
stand
him
right underneath
right
the S
here,
at the right time.
because it's a Wile E. Coyote cartoon as well.
If you
Let
can
me
get him
re-
to stand underneath the S at the right time, then she
And
doesn't.
might as well get me sign. Let me remind the people to pay attention to the Pepsi
Yes, drink Pepsi.
logo here.
We want you to drink Pepsi Cola. Pepsi, sponsored by Pepsi. Man, I am
He
so.
gets trapped
You know,
under it.
I don't
yeah.
know why though. I just really
Like
want.
a cocktail.
I
with
really
Pepsi
want
or
some
something.
Pepsi. Like I really, really want
I
Pepsi
don't
now.
know. Me too. For
I
some
don't know.
stupid reason.
I need to
I
get a
don't know
pack
either.
of Pepsi. right now. All the Pepsis.
And then
So-
it falls. Where did that
It was a
came
flare.
from? That
It was a
the
flare.
flare did that.
Yeah, like
Another
it's a bunch
flare.
of a never-ending firework flare, and
And he still falls to his
he
death,
falls to his death, and then
just like he visioned. But this
And
time
here
it
comes the
happened 30
Pepsi
years
sign.
earlier.
yeah,
There it is.
Yep. Just like it's like a Wile E.
and
Coyote.
he
He
died.
he held a little sign that said "Help"
Mhm.
before the Pepsi sign fell on him.
Yep.
and she becomes something happens to her
I don't understand why, but she basically falls
because
into the
she
water.
got to get because she got to be blind and
It's from all the sparks.
She get electrocuted?
I don't know. I guess so. She falls into the water because she got to be paralyzed and blind.
Because that's who Madam Web is, a paralytic.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
So is the S for Spider-Man?
Oh, something you see that it just hit her eyes.
Oh,
The flare hit her eyes. I didn't catch that when I first watched it.
A flare hits her directly in the eye underneath the water at the right time. But she couldn't see that. She didn't see that coming.
Nope. And somebody swims down to get her. Is it the blonde girl?
Yep. They save her life. And guess what they do? Guess what they do, Donald? Guess what they do?
To save her life from being underwater for a long time. Guess what they did? Something.
You would
this
never
might
guess
come
it.
in handy someday. There's a
never
Darkwing Duck
it.
episode. Do you remember that episode of Darkwing Duck when he did like his origins and he kept saying, "This will come in handy someday"? And he's like all these different things. He kept saying, "This will come in handy someday."
That's
that
what
always
happened.
crosses my mind whenever I watch it.
So they do CPR on her. Each take turns, just like she taught them.
Just like she
because
taught
she's
them.
a good teacher. You know, Madam Web is such a good teacher. Now her eyes are white because of the flare that blew her eyes out, and then she's now her legs don't work because of the water that came to her lungs.
Yep, that's exactly how it works.
You go blind, and then all of a sudden your eyes turn white. Is that how that works?
Immediately, yeah, huh?
Yep,
and
immediately.
You know, and her legs don't work anymore because of the water that filled her lungs and eyes.
And there's a baby. We see a baby. I wonder who the baby is.
We never know. But where's the father?
She's like, I think
right
I'll name
next
him.
To her.
What is going on?
Ben Parker is there to see his son being born. I mean, nephew.
Like, dude,
where's Ben Parker?
Why do you keep?
He's such a happy uncle. He wants to be a great uncle. He's busy doing uncle duties. They say that.
Why do you keep leaving your wife to go see her and the baby?
Well, he's not married, so Ben Parker just is just dating.
It's more like
just met
his brother. Where is?
All right.
Where is
Ben
Richard
just
Parker?
met May or whoever,
whatever.
Yeah, May Riley.
He just basically met her, but it makes once you said that, Josh, it does make more sense that's definitely
he's supposed to be the father.
because he was there for
he's
everything.
supposed to play Richard Parker.
It would make
that makes more sense.
A lot of sense.
He was at the baby shower, but Richard Parker, the character, is not in the movie. It does make no sense why he's not there.
So the only thing I could think of, wasn't he
like a spy?
Yeah, it was a spy
or CIA agent or something like that.
Yeah, some kind of agent.
So,
there's versions where he's like a scientist.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So maybe he was away on his mission, Spy X family.
Yeah, maybe.
Away
so.
But Mary's supposed to be with him though.
Right,
She's
Mary's
also
a spy
too.
Right, and they're spies.
Right, they're supposed to be both of them.
So now Madam Web lives in a tower.
Yep. She's blind and crippled
with her 3 adopted daughters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who don't have powers yet.
Still don't have powers. We don't know how they're going to get their powers in the future.
But they are now a family.
Yes.
Rough.
The end.
Is that it? Is that it?
Don't they show a vision of them all standing together with their suits on at the very end? I think they
do. Is there even an extra scene? No extra scenes?
No. The audience was... There is no after-credit scene. There's no mid-credit scene. I stayed, and I was the whole audience was angry.
You stayed? You stayed?
Yes. We all stayed. It was a whole bunch of us stayed. It was like... It was opening night, and everybody was like...
What?
Everybody was up at the exact same time, but there was no after credit scene. Like, what? So this right here, you see them in their spider suits fighting. This is a vision of what's going to happen.
They look badass.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, but it's not happening now. But it's like she's like, yeah, one day they'll grow into these superheroes with powers, but we won't know how they get their powers. Yeah, because Cassandra says, "I see better now," or whatever. She's like, "I see it all now," or something like that.
Oh my god, whatever.
Because she sees them as superheroes in the future. Not in this movie. Not in the current movie we are watching. They're just three teenage girls being silly. That their parents don't care. They're living with this blonde woman now.
Who's
because
very
they
creepy,
still have parents.
you know? The
And
end.
it goes off.
Oh, boy.
It goes off. All right. So, favorite characters.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah.
Honestly, though, for real, Ben Parker. Ben Parker's my favorite character. He made, I mean,
Yep.
he's just a normal guy doing his thing. It's not his fault the movie's bad.
Yeah. We walked through this whole movie for you, so you don't have to watch it. So you're welcome.
Right. Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Yes.
You're welcome. You have our commentary.
I'm not sure if I should thank you.
Yeah.
Jason, do you have a favorite character?
Oh man. Oh man. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Movies like this, sometimes we have to say least favorite character.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame none of that. The actors, they all know. Like, honestly, the acting wasn't bad. Like we talk about a bad movie. Like the acting, except Okay, let me take that back. So like, Madam Web, she's like the actress who plays her is the girl that's off of that movie, the franchise
50 Shades.
And like she made more sense as that character. Like really like kind of clueless, one-dimensional type person. Work with that. With Madam Web, like I feel like you need to be a little bit more like wise, even in a young age. Like I feel like she was playing it too, like
too
unnecessary.
cluelessly.
Yeah. And so it's like I feel like she wasn't like there was no real like development in her. Like the very ending, like now I see that you're gonna be like it did. Like that was like a super jump. Like okay, like what? So I feel like my favorite character was Peter Parker, like the baby.
Nice.
No, take it back. Richard Parker. He was the best character in the movie because he knew better than to be in this movie.
Not to show.
He knew better than to be in this movie. He was like, nope, I'm not going to be in this movie.
But the birth of your son, still, nope.
Nope, I ain't going to do it. So, Richard, good job on that. Good choice.
And Aunt May.
Aunt May too. Yeah, Aunt May too. Yeah, she said, I ain't going to be in that movie. So, yeah. But, the teenagers weren't bad, like they were, and I think they played the part that they were written, I guess. But you mentioned that, Donald, that they were complaining about the way that the movie was written versus what was produced.
So, yeah, the main character, Cassandra Webb, Dakota Johnson, she complained that what she signed up for was not what happened.
Okay. So
my favorite character.
Because you basically watched it now. O'Neill?
Yeah, Mike Epps.
Oh.
Yeah. He represents the movie.
Oh. How so? How so?
The death of Mike Epps represents this movie.
Oh,
Getting
man.
hit by a truck head on. No, T-boned by a truck.
Wow.
At full speed.
There it is.
Yep.
There it is. That makes sense.
That was the audience. Mike Epps was the audience of the movie.
There you go.
And that's the point in the movie that everybody in the audience said, oh, man, we just got hit by a moving vehicle.
Mike Epps is the audience.
Yes, that is great. That is going to be
Blindsided.
That is going to be the description of this episode. Wow. Yep.
So, ratings. I usually try to go easy on movies. I don't usually give out neck bleeds. I don't usually give out trash.
Yeah.
But I cannot give this movie a do-over at all. I can't, because I'm like, I don't want this movie done over again. It doesn't need to be made. So
I wanted to
throw it in the trash. This movie did not need to be made. For real. There's no reason for this movie to be made. It was just I saw somebody refer to it as a filler episode movie kind of thing.
It wasn't even a good filler.
Right. It's just it did give me the illusion that it was made in the early 2000s when there was a bad period of bad superhero movies. Maybe that's why it was set in 2003. But I know why it's set in 2003 because, it's supposed to be before Peter Parker was born or
Yeah,
whatever.
so it's
These are his
supposed to line
parents and
up
stuff.
with Peter Parker's age today. So, I mean, we talked about this on the phone. Like, who is the target audience for this movie? It came out on
No
Valentine's
one.
Day.
There's no
Like,
target.
who's going to take
It's a
their...
filler, like he just said. It's a bad
You said
filler.
no one's
There's no target audience.
audience.
There's no one being targeted for this film.
13% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't get it. I don't know why they made the movie.
39% people like the movie.
Because it's a flop. It's like they spent all this money, and it's for what though? Like seriously,
80?
like
Well,
it's the same reason why they wrote Mobius.
Yeah, $80
how they did
million.
Mobius.
That's a cost $80 million, and they made $49 million so far. So,
I hope
it's still gonna be a flop. I doubt it's gonna make its money
I
back.
don't think it's gonna make $80 million after the opening.
Right, I
they
really
count
don't
opening
think so.
weekend from February 14th, which people are like, let's go make out in this movie. Yeah, that's probably why people bought tickets.
That makes sense too. Yeah,
it's like we're not gonna pay attention to this. Let's go make out in this movie.
Those are the diehards like Josh that went. And
dude, you have no idea how hard I tried to get this movie in for free. I was on my app. I was talking to the box office person. I said, "This movie, I can get this in for free, right? If I use the right points, I can get it in for free, right?"
Did you make it for free?
So
you didn't make it for
no,
free.
You should have. This is what you should have done. You should have paid the money for another movie that was shown at the same time and just snuck into that one. That way you have to support that garbage.
You have to choose. You have to choose your seats nowadays.
They make
That's what they
sneaking
do.
into
That.
movies a little difficult than they did back in 2003. You can't do the same thing. So,
but this might be a rare time travel thing because I really do feel like this might be a time travel to stop it from being made kind of thing.
I hope that there is an extra scene that comes out when they release Deadpool, maybe the DVD or something like that. And there's like an extra feature that you see Deadpool going over there and stabbing that Madam Web character right in the head or something.
Oh my goodness!
Don't do that.
Do you have a Madam Web figure? Can you do this?
They
haven't made a Madam Web figure. Is this what even selling action figures? Wow.
No, nobody would buy an action figure to any character of this movie.
You would. It's Spider-Man. You would bought a Madam Web figure.
I would, but I would buy it. If they made a Madam Web, I would get one. Yeah, because I would put it in a video. Yeah, definitely.
But
can I read the origin real quick?
Go ahead.
Yes,
we want to know.
Cassandra Webb was born in Salem, Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
She is paralyzed, blind, telepathic, clairvoyant, and precognitive mutant. She is a mutant.
So she was born.
She's more of an
blind?
X-Men than. She was born all these things.
Oh
apparently.
Wow. Interesting.
Originally stricken with some kind of disease, connected to a life support system designed by her husband.
But Disney owns the mutants. Disney owns the rights to the mutants, not Sony.
So you can't even be a mutant at all?
Yeah, Fox. You have to be with Fox to be a mutant.
Nice one. Let's rewrite her because we have the rights.
Wow.
To her film, right? We got the rights to make movies about her, so let's rewrite her character completely. She's not even not even the correct origin for her.
Wow.
She is a mutant originally.
Wow. Oh my goodness. What?
I didn't know the thing about owning the rights to mutant films and all that. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So
it makes more sense now that this is garbage.
Which would have made sense for her to even be born from the mutant spider.
Well,
in Peru, but she wasn't born in Peru. But I'm like, it would have made sense for her to be born from the mutant spider.
No mentions of her mother or anything. It just says she's a mutant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they had to make a movie version of this.
Exactly.
That.
Yeah.
So Jason,
I was gonna say do-over. Just because like. I mean, it was definitely trash. Like, it was a trash movie, but I was thinking like I said at the beginning, the character, like you have the idea of what Madam Web could do to the multiverse based off of what we saw in the original 90s cartoon. and you have these potential strong Spider Women. There's so much potential of what you can do with them in a movie if you actually leaned in on that. Definitely, the villain was like not even a villain, like Donald said. Like that's like what and the origin, the whole part of the movie is her protecting these girls.
Her origin
from being, which is weird. So it's like, okay,
it's the Terminator.
So like
They're doing the Terminator.
The plot was horrible. The plot was completely trash. Like throw the plot away, and like when I mean do over is like just pick the same, not even the same actors. So I guess it is time travel then, because I'm like, it's nothing.
Yeah,
don't take anything from this movie at all whatsoever.
This is how you do the do over. All right, this is how you do the do over. You fix it with a movie like Deadpool or somebody with Doctor Strange, something that travels through the multiverse
and deletes them, and then starts over
and deletes them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way you could do this do over. Just don't do another film.
Yeah.
Don't do another film.
I was going to say do over at first too, but I was like, no, this is not do over.
You should have never done it in the first place.
Replay. Yeah, it's. I don't like giving out trash, but this is.
Yeah,
I gotta say trash for this one.
I don't, man. I want it. Like,
Madam Web is supposed to be one of the most awesome spider characters in the universe, in the spider universe.
Yeah. Was she in the Across the Spider-Verse? Was there any
no, they didn't show her in the
background?
No, I didn't see any.
Okay.
I mean, I have to watch it again and maybe.
Was she ever mentioned?
Find her. I don't think so.
Because you're right though. That is a really good, it's a character that could really be in, and I don't know if they're going to try to do anything else, but it
was a waste. It was a waste of millions of dollars. I'm sorry,
$80 million.
Y'all could have saved that money for something else.
Sony is grasping at money.
Well, they made that from Spider-Man 2 video game anyway, so.
And I think, and going back to earlier, we was talking about the Sony universe versus why would they make these crappy movies versus like Across the Spider-Verse. I think those are two different teams. Yeah, I think you have the animation
execs.
team.
I think there's different execs over it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. You have the animation team and you have the live action team. That's why. Yep. That's why.
And I bet those execs are like, whatever. It's animation. It's not real. They got this attitude about them.
But they probably got a So if that's the team, and that's the live action team, still takes some of the money from the Spider-Man, No Way Home, Far From Home franchise, then they got a couple $100 million to waste. Because those movies are billion movies. You know what I mean? Like those are like, No Way
hurt
Home.
them on the next one. No,
so but
it's why would I want to watch the next film if this is what's going to come out of it?
Spider-Man is always going to bring in the money. So they can have these experiment movies and waste it and try it out and see what happens. It's not a loss to them. They just cut it off, So there was 39% of the people liked it. So some people liked it.
Hey, good for them.
And I'm not one of them.
Donald is. He loved it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
For the record, I did not love this movie. I just watched it on bootleg, and it was trash. I knew the trailer. I watched the trailer. The trailer was trash.
Yeah, honestly, I had no desire to watch this until
no desire at all.
I was just like, I'll catch the bootleg and watch and talk about it. So yeah, this is where we are. So all right, is that it? Are we done?
Yeah. So tell her.
Can we end this podcast?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's tell everybody where to follow you at. Start with you, Donald.
You could follow me at Vinyl Whiskey on Instagram or try to play some games with me on PlayStation.
All right. SmileyJason _ you can look me up Instagram or smileyjason.com.
And find me as Prop Josh on YouTube and TikTok. I got a lot of new videos I've been uploading. All right. Any final thoughts?
Don't get T-boned by a Mack truck if you're Mike Epps.
Yep.
I got the ultimate final thought.
Okay.
When we return, we always say, don't watch this movie. Good night.